Hey everyone, thanks for joining us to watch this webinar that goes through AddEvent's custom templates and branding. As you hopefully know by now, AddEvent is a tool that allows you to create and share and manage your calendars and events. Some of the solutions AddEvent offers include our Add to Calendar buttons and links, collecting RSVPs and collecting information from your attendees before they attend the event, embeddable calendars, subscription calendars, and even automated events, which allow you to include programmatic buttons and links in emails and your website. So those are the main solutions that we have, but today we're going to dig into how you can kind of customize pieces of these solutions. So my name is Kamala. I am the customer support manager at AddEvent, and this here is Thomas, and he is our technical customer support rep. He is going to be taking us through the customizations and giving us some examples of how and why we might want to customize our events. So the agenda here, like I said, we're just going to show you some customization examples, show you how to create a custom template, how to assign the template, and then if you want to remove AddEvent branding, we'll show you how to do that as well. So Thomas, I am going to let you take it away.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. I'm going to quick pull up my screen here so I can show you how all of this works. So the core thing you're going to see here is that our templates, the editing of them looks like a big web page full of code. Don't be intimidated. It's not as crazy as it looks. We have very thorough guides that I'm going to reference throughout this presentation on how to accomplish the different types of branding that you might want to accomplish. They're all very cut and paste. They all come with specific instructions on how to do what you want to do. So again, if you look at it and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know code, don't be intimidated. You don't actually have to know how it all works to make these changes happen. The flip side of that is if your organization has anyone in it who is a front end or web developer who understands basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the depth of customization options available to you is near unlimited. So that's kind of the trade-off here is like, you got to look at code and do some copy and pasting. But if your organization or you personally have access to those resources, you can do some incredible things with our templates that really can make your events and calendars stand out to your user base. So what are we going to do? We're going to start here by running through some of the basic changes that our customers often do to their templates to match their landing pages with their organization's branding. So that's things like changing the logo, changing the color of some of the buttons on the event landing page, like the Add to Calendar button, and doing some other things like removing the initial respond button you might see on your RSVP event. All of these can be done in the exact same template and then applied to all sorts of different events. So you only need to do a lot of this setup once, and then you're good to go. So we're going to run through this kind of in order. I've created a super basic event here. This is just a standard event with a title, and a time and a time zone and nothing else. No location, no description, nothing. And this is what the landing page looks like when you visit the event URL that you send to your users. So let's make some changes here. Let's add an image to the header. That could be your logo or something else, right? So what we're going to do here is first, we're going to go to this help doc. This is adding images to a landing page, and it has a couple of different things you can do: background color, background image, header image, etc. So it'll show you, if you haven't already created a template yet, it'll show you how to create the template. And so actually, let's run through that process first. That'd be smart, wouldn't it? So let's go back to our event page. We're going to go down here, and you can see that right now we're using the standard template. Well, if you want to make a new template, you go to custom templates. And if you have some that you've been working on or that you want to overwrite, you can select one of the existing ones from here. Or you hit new template, and you will be given an exact copy of the standard template here in the code. So let's name it. Let's call this demo branding kit, and we're going to hit create. And now before we make any changes, just to make our lives easier down the road, we're going to go back to the event page. We'll go back, and we're just going to set this template on the event here. So we'll hit set. Great, now it's saved. Now, if you go to this event and hit refresh, now it's using the new template. Why does it look exactly the same? Because we haven't actually made any changes to our custom template yet, and it is still using the exact same code as the standard template. So let's go about making those changes now. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our event page. We're going to actually open up the template editor, and here we are in our demo branding kit template. So let's go to this help doc, scroll down. We're not going to change the background color this time, adding a header image. So the first thing we want to do is copy this code snippet here, and you can highlight and copy paste, or you can just hit this button. I'm going to go back to our code, and in the instructions, it says you want to put it directly between that's the second template. This first one goes in the header section. So when I talk about the header section, it's everything that is between this head tag here and this closing head tag here. So add a couple spaces, that's great, and paste it in. Cool, so that's in there. Now, let's go back and grab the second snippet here. So copy this one as well. And this one says you should put it between the wrap and the box tags, and it has a little screenshot here to show you what that might look like. So we're going to go back to our code, and we're going to find the wrap and box tags. We're going to add a couple of spaces here. It's great. And this little snippet comes preloaded with an image URL that it's pulling from, just so you can kind of see that it is in place and like a basic look at what it will look like without any further customization. So let's go down and hit save. Now you've made some changes to this template, and it's already applied to your event. So when we reload this, ta-da, an image appears. Let's make that a little more kind of like a branding logo related thing. So this is the stock image we provide you. If you want the actual image, let's go back. And in this case, I'm going to go back to the webinar page. And this is how you pull the URL that you need for your image to change it in that editor, right? So you want to go to edit the event. And I know this is an odd kind of pathway. Bear with me here. This is how it works. Go to insert image. And now you're going to see the whole library of images that you might find already loaded onto your account that you've put up there over time for other events, etc. Here's the image we want to put in. So we highlight it, we hit this little eye, and then this source link here, that's what we want. We want to copy, cancel, and cancel out. We're not actually making any changes. That brings you back to the calendar. Great. So let's go back into our code with that link we just copied. And we're going to highlight this URL. We want to make sure we keep the quote marks here. So do not highlight the quote marks, just the link. And then we're going to paste in that new link we just copied in. So remember, keep the quote marks on the front and the back. Hit save. And we're going to go back to our event. Voila, we've uploaded our super fancy generic logo. All right. So now your logo is on your events, and any event that has this template applied will have this logo on it. That's great. That's a big step forward in matching your branding. Well, that add to calendar button is a very particular shade of blue. Maybe your brand uses that shade of blue. If so, that's great. You're in good company, but you probably want to change the color of the add to calendar button. Okay, so how do we go about that? Well, what we want to do then is we're going to keep modifying this exact same template. We're going to stack all these changes on top of each other. So we'll go back to our template code here, and go to a different help doc. This one has changed the color of the add to calendar button. And similarly to the first one, there's a code snippet we need to copy. So we can copy this one right here. And we're going to go to our code. And we're going to also put this in the header section. And you can put it above or below the image box you just put in. That's okay. Now, pro tip, You can just paste it in like this and that will work fine. If you want to make it look a little more kind of seamless and easier to navigate for somebody else, you could also remove the closing style tag here and the opening style tag here. And now you have one seamless grouping of changes made to the look and feel of the page within an opening and closing style tag. Again, you don't have to do that. That's just a little pro tip to clean up your code for anyone else that might have to work on it. And so these three objects here, these are the Add to Calendar button. This is the basic button here. This is the button when your mouse is hovering over it. And this controls what the button looks like once it's been clicked, right? And so for most people, you're going to change these three colors here, these hex codes, to be the same thing. But if your brand kit has like multiple colorways and you want to have those change based on whether you're just looking at the button, whether you've moused over the button, whether you're clicking on it, that's totally doable too. These can be the same, these can be different. So this is in here now, that's great. Now we need a color to change it to. Specifically, we need a hex code. These are super common in the world of colors and design. I'm assuming your brand kit has some that you know of already, but if you don't have one available to you, or you just want to pull an interesting color for the sake of changes, what you're going to do is there are tons of these color pickers online. This is not the only one, but we're going to go to this little HTML color codes website. And we're just going to grab the hex code for this red here, this little letter number combination. Ignore the rest of these. These are useful for other kinds of color changes and things, but for our purposes, we just want hex codes. So we're going to copy and we're going to go back to our code. And where it says 000 in each of these ones, we're just going to paste. And then we're going to do it again. And then we're going to do it again. And we want to make sure that hashtag stays there, just a single hashtag. Hit save. And now if we refresh, voila, color change. So now you have a different colored Add to Calendar button on your template along with your logo. And again, whatever events this template is applied to will look like this. So, okay, that's awesome. These are for regular events. What about if you wanted to do an RSVP event? Well, regular events and RSVP events use the exact same template here. And what determines what changes show up where are what changes you make to different chunks of the template. So right now, we've only been making changes to parts of the template that are visible across all regular events and RSVP events. But let's see what happens when we make this specific event we're working on an RSVP event. So we've saved this template. So let's go back to the event page. Let's go to edit event. And we're just going to make this an RSVP event with a standard RSVP form. So we've saved it. It is now officially an RSVP event. And if we reload the page, now we have a respond button. When you click the respond button, you're given a lot like an RSVP form. That's great. So, okay. So maybe you go to this page and you're like, I don't like that people have to hit respond. I just want them to go straight to the form. This is a super common request we hear, which is why we created a help doc for it. So you want to remove that respond button, right? So let's go to the appropriate help doc. And in this case, we're going to grab this little code snippet. And so we're going to copy it. And we're going to go to our template code again. Again, the demo branding kit code. And like before, we can just paste this in and it will work just fine. So we're going to hit save. And now if we go to our event, there you go. So now your users, when they open this URL, will see this first, not a respond button. They'll just see the form. It's very obvious what's going on and they can RSVP to it. So we'll say, I swear I know how to type. Okay. And we're going to RSVP to the event. And there is your color changed Add to Calendar button, still visible to the user. So those are kind of just three of the basic changes that a lot of people make and how to make them. There are tons of other things you can do We have lots of different guides on different kinds of customizations. And like I said, if you or one of your team members knows basic web development code and processes, you can do all sorts of extraordinary things. We have customers who have super duper customized templates that totally rearrange where all the different elements are. It's incredible. So, but yeah, I don't know, Cami, does that cover all the ground in your opinion?
Yes, it does. You've only scratched the surface, like Thomas said, of the examples of what you can do to customize. Just another example, just to get your wheels turning. When you're sharing an event on social media, you can use a custom template to update the image that's shown in the social card. So it really can be used to customize things in the event itself, in the landing pages, and then also outside of where you're sharing it in AddEvent. So yeah, lots that you can do there. Do we want to show them where they can remove AddEvent's branding to finish off the customizations?
I mean, you think our customers would really want to remove our super cool branding setup down here? That
I don't know.
seems a little ridiculous. I don't know why you want to remove our lovely branding. But if that's a requirement for your usage, we're happy to show you how that works. And it's very simple. It doesn't even require templates or anything like that. If you are on one of our paid accounts and you want to remove this little logo here and the ones that appear on like the embedded calendars or in the calendar invites when someone hits add to calendar and adds the event to their own calendar, all you got to do is go to your account here, click account, click settings, and you just turn off AddEvent branding with this little switch. You hit save, and now no more branding, which is a tragedy, but that's how you do it.
Amazing. Okay, thank you, Thomas, for showing us all of the customization options that we have. The help docs have a lot more customization examples that you can take a look at and follow to see if we can give you any ideas there, or just kind of take your customizations to the next level. Feel free to follow us on LinkedIn. We're posting updates there, whether it's some customer success stories or feature updates. Follow us on LinkedIn, and you can subscribe to AddEvent's calendar so that you can get updates on all of the events AddEvent has, whether it's another webinar coming up that you want to attend. And then lastly, we offer a free 7-day trial. So all you have to do to take that offer is email trial@addevent.com. And more than likely, it'll be myself or Thomas getting back to you, applying that trial to your account so that you can test out all of the paid functionality, which includes these custom templates, so that you can try them out for yourself and get to customizing your events. So thank you so much for attending, and thank you, Thomas, for taking us through all of that. Now, feel free to go ahead and get to testing. And if you ever run into any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us at support@addevent.com. Thanks, everybody.